Hi guys, Mark here. Welcome again today to Poole Moto here in the south of England, and today we're going to be looking at the new Zontes ZT350. Stay tuned and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Well, hi guys, Mark here, and welcome along today to a review on the 2022 Zontes ZT350. So just run through the specs in the usual fashion. So price on these, they're coming in at £4,399 plus the on-the-road charges. Engine on this is a 348cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled double overhead cam. It's putting out 39 horsepower at 9,500 RPM, and torque is 32.8 Newton meters at 7,500 RPM. We've got a 795mm seat, one piece, very comfortable. Just take a look at me on the bike. I'm 5'7" tall with a 30-inch inside leg, and then you can just see how I fit in the bike. Then you can compare it to yourself. I weigh about 75 kilos. Tyres on these are by CST. We've got a 120 section on the front, 17-inch wheel, and a 160 on the rear with a 17-inch wheel. Spoked wheels on this, which is nice, and a nice detail on this. We've got the spokes on the side here of the rims, which allows it to run tubeless tyres. So being a 350cc single, it's very economical. Zontes are quoting 3.2 litres per 100 kilometres, which is around about 88 miles per gallon UK, and you should get a range of about 300 miles, which is brilliant. 6-speed gearbox on these, very smooth shifting. Try that out later on. And wet weight is 188 kilos. It's a keyless ignition on this, so the key fob is in my pocket. Lots of nice features on these. You know, these modern Zontes are really good. We've got bar end mirrors, which is a really nice touch. They kind of suit a bike like this. It's got a radiator guard up in there, all standard. So single disc on the front here, ABS is standard, and we've got a 4-piston caliper on the front there by J. Juan, which is a Spanish make, and very strong front brake indeed on this. LEDs all round. I'll chuck in a night section for you later on. But I say these modern Zontes, you know, very well spec'd. They're very well put together, you know, easily as good as the modern Japanese stuff. So we have keyless ignition, keyless fuel, which is quite a nice little touch. We have electronic seat release as well there. So servicing on these, 3,000 miles. Pretty cheap to service. A basic service should come in at around about £100. They come with a 2-year warranty, and they're available in this silver, an orange, or a black and gold as well. There you go, guys. Let's do the test ride. Okay then, guys, Zontes ZT350. Let's try out this little cracker. So very easy to swing a leg over, 795mm seat height, and I'm pretty much flat-footed, and I'm 5'7" tall, 30-inch inside leg, so absolutely fine for a beginner bike. This is A2 Euro 5, this bike, so if you were new to biking, this would be an absolutely great first choice. It's easy to use, all the controls are smooth, it's got nice power, and it feels quite light. It doesn't feel heavy when you sort of chuck it from side to side. So let's just run through all these lovely premium looking controls here. We have a cable operated clutch, which is span adjustable, just in there. We have our headlight flasher, high and low beam, hazards, indicators and horn. Have our set button and our mode button. Go into that in a minute. Over this side we have brakes by J. Huang, which are very, very strong, and we have a span adjustable front brake lever, engine kill and kill switch, eco button, electronic fuel cap, electronic seat release. You have an electronic steering lock as well. Illuminator switch gear. I'll put a night riding section in and you'll start. So the keys in my pocket, just a quick push here and that powers it all up. Have a look at the TFT. So tons of information there. It's a very, very nice TFT. You can actually change this interface. There's 4 different ones to choose from. I think you press here. So you've got interface, clock, backlight, unit, language, Bluetooth, easy connect, tyre pressure monitoring system. It's also got info and then exit, so you can actually just change how that looks. So they've got the rev counter, speedo, gears, we've got range, trip meter. If you press the mode button, it changes between trip, range and tyre pressure monitoring and fuel consumption just there, so that's nice. Got engine temperature and fuel gauge. Nice that it's got bar end mirrors, they sort of suit this style of bike. So yeah, so just electronic fuel cap release. There you go, press the button, up it goes. All very nice stuff. So we'll start her up. So 350cc single cylinder. It's got that lovely little throb to it. And away we go. So super light clutch. And a very, very early take on the clutch. And straight away when you pull away, the bike feels very light. A lot lighter than it says in the specs. I do love these little sort of single cylinder bikes, they're so much fun. So pulling away, first gear, lots of keen punch from low and mid range, very keen through the gearbox, and when you open it up it makes a really good little roar from down below from the airbox. So very quickly and easily up to sort of 60 miles an hour. Engine feels nice and smooth and characterful. Front brake feels really good considering it's just a single, and the back brake's got a good bit of bite as well to it. Just going down the gearbox, again feels positive and slick. Cool, doesn't it make a nice roar from the airbox? Okay, let's get back to business and talk about the bike. So let's start off with these lovely little bar end mirrors. All good. No view of my elbows because they're right on the end there, and they're giving me pretty good clear view behind. Little tiny bit of vibration in them, but all in all a good view behind, no problem there at all. Lovely TFT. This is my favourite kind of interface. I've been through all of them and this is the nicest looking one. So I can easily see my speed, my gears, my revs, fuel gauge, everything's very clear. It's all very bright and easy to see. Currently got a range of 140 odd miles, and should do about a range of 300 miles this bike, with at least sort of 80 to the gallon. I will work out the fuel consumption and let you know when I post on my final thoughts video. So being a naked bike, it's obviously pretty much upright. It's a little tiny bit of forward lean, enough to make it feel a little bit sporty and involving, but all in all the riding position's nice and upright. Does look like you can rake the bars here a little bit forwards and backwards. Leg position very nice, not not back or extreme, just a nice sort of straight down position. Plenty of room. I think if you had longer legs than me, there's enough room here to fit a 6 foot rider, no problem. Right, we'll just try these brakes out. Front brake only. Oh, wow, absolute knockout. Very, very impressive front brake for a single disc. So the engine pulls very well through the mid-range. It's a very free revving little engine. It's quite smooth for a single. There's a few little vibes there that come through the foot pegs, but you know, I've been riding this for a day now and no problems at all. So this is very kindly been loaned to me by Clements Moto, who are the Zontes importer in the UK. I'll put a link to their website in the description and a link to the Zontes website for you. So yeah, this thing corners really well. It feels a lot lighter than it is, and it's quite a small bike, so it really is good fun around the bends. The CST tyres provide plenty of grip. Back brake is very, very good. Got lots of power there, better than your average back brake actually. Going down through the gearbox, so no quick shifter on this or riding modes. It's quite a simple machine, but it's a very smooth gearbox with a nice easy light clutch. So second gear, opening it up. Very keen, good fun. So big shout out to the seat on this bike. It's got really nice sort of density foam in it, and it's very, very plush and well padded. And I say I've had this bike for about a day. I've been on it today on and off for about 3 hours actually, and no problems at all with the seat comfort. So if you wanted to do some distance, this bike is a lot more comfortable than its competitors in this class, I would say. But it's a very, very eager engine, responds to throttle very quickly. It's not a snatchy throttle. Again, it's very mellow. Not going to catch you out if you're a new rider, but just for gentle cruising along like this, 55 miles an hour doing 5,000 revs. The engine's very smooth. I'll put in a higher speed section later on the dual carriageway. Okay, so how does the GK350 fare on a higher speed dual carriageways? We're just going to try it out now. See what it's like at 70 miles an hour, see how it handles higher speed cruising. So up to the legal limit, 70 miles an hour indicated with no problem whatsoever. We're currently turning over at 6,500 RPM, and we have no vibrations through the seat, a tiny little buzz through the bars and a little buzz through the foot pegs, but nothing to worry about. It just adds to the character of the bike. I mean, it is a single cylinder after all. So at this sort of speed the bike feels very sure-footed. It's physically quite a small bike, weighs around about 180 kilos, so it feels very stable. I'm not getting blown about at all. CST tyres feel very grippy. Riding position feels good at this speed. It's not too windy. I mean, it's okay, it's a naked bike, but no problem at all with the wind blast at this sort of speed. View from the mirrors is all nice and clear. Plenty of leg room. So yeah, if you had to do some higher speed cruising, no problem at all on this. The seat is very comfortable. You could definitely spend all day in the saddle on this and do a few hundred miles in a day on this, I would say, no problem at all. So we'll just slow it down a little bit. So yeah, I mean 60, 65, it is a nicer sort of cruising speed on it. It's a bit more relaxed. So just opening it up, top gear. There you go, plenty of pulling power, up to about a top speed of 100 miles an hour. So yeah, no problem at all guys for the GK350 for slightly higher cruising speed on the dual carriageways and motorways. Well, welcome guys to a night riding section on the Zontes GK350. I'm just going to see what the lights look like and the indicators, and I'll take it for a little quick ride and see what the high and low beam is like. So that's the bike currently on low beam. All LEDs all round, looks very bright on low beam. Hope you're getting that. Now we'll just flick it onto high beam. So that's your low, there's your high, it illuminates the top lights there, and flasher does the same. So flick it onto high beam. So now high beam. Yeah, that is seriously bright. Just have a little look at the indicators and the rear light. Indicators, decent little LEDs, and a good rear light there. Excellent. Right then, let's do the night ride. So another little really nice touch that this bike's got is the illuminated switchgear. So you can turn it on or off with the switch here, but must admit it looks really nice, all being lit up like that in that nice, with that nice red glow. Right, away we go. So low beam at the moment, so that's looking pretty good as we speak. So it's stretching out in front of me, the low beam, good sort of 20 metres I'd say, 25 metres roughly. Nice wide beam, nice white bright LED. It's going right out there on the left up the verge and right onto the other side of the road there. So that's very good. So flicking it onto high beam now. Oh, that's interesting. It's got a real big high beam as well. It sort of comes right on top of it. So there's your low and there's your high. Wow, that's good. So high beam looks really good. I mean, it's not 100% dark at the moment, but I can really see how effective that is. I doubt the GoPro will be picking it up. It never does that well. But there's your low. Just come through some trees in a minute. And there's your high beam, which is excellent, really good. I mean, if you were having to do a lot of miles at night time on this, you know, this is like, obviously there's no street lights down here. This is very confidence inspiring. You can really see a long way ahead. That's really good. So also worth mentioning, the TFT is really nice to look at night time. It does have like an auto dimming function, but in this sort of lighting that we've got now, it's pretty much dark through these trees. It's really nice and bright, easy to read. Can see all my speed, gears, all the necessary information really easily. It's a joy to look at actually. So yeah, top marks also for the TFT. So back to low beam. Again, that's absolutely fine all on its own. Just try. So there's your passing light, headlight flasher, and that's brilliant as well. It's basically putting a high beam on, isn't it? And then your high beam is a great swathe of light shooting down the road, a good sort of 60-70 meters I would say. Just have a look at that one more time. That's a really interesting high beam, really does blast out down the road there. There you go. So yeah, that is a 5-star high beam in my opinion. High beam back down to low. Well, that's good news guys. The lights on the Zontes GK350 are very good indeed. The illuminated switchgear looks brilliant, and all the indicators are nice and easy to find as well. So top marks for night riding on the GK350. So what's the GK350 like in an urban town environment? Just going to check the fueling, check the throttle response, all that sort of stuff. So we're currently in 4th gear, about 30 miles an hour, just purring along at about 4,000 revs, and the engine's very smooth and refined. You can tell it's a single, but there's no nasty hunting or surging so to speak of. It's quite happy at this sort of speed. So if you had to go to work on this, go and do some shopping, commuting, that sort of stuff, absolutely no problem at all. So a lot of these this sort of size single cylinder engines, they can be a bit lumpy at low RPM, but this is really nice. It just purrs along quite happily at this sort of speed. It doesn't feel at all heavy. It feels very, very light and flickable if you had to weave your way through traffic. So just going down the gearbox now, all very light, down to second. Into first, very smooth, slow, riding along now, just feathering the clutch, and again that's all very, very easy. Up into second, super light clutch, nice positive gearbox, so that's absolutely fine. Visibility out of the mirrors is all good. It's a very, very nice, easy to handle bike actually at low speeds. The riding position's nice and upright, nice and commanding, giving you a good view of everything. But the main thing is the throttle response, the gears, the clutch, all that sort of stuff is all very, very light and easy to use. So absolutely no problems at all with the 350 through the urban environment. 5 stars from me. But on the whole it's very smooth for a single. 4th gear, just winding it open. And there's your 60 mile an hour. So you can see it's quite a keen little engine. 40 horsepower. Top speed of around about 100, I would say. But around these bends it's an absolute blast. It really is good fun. 5th gear, just winding it out a little bit. Loads of fun. Right, we'll just try those brakes out again because they're exceptionally good for a single. So just front brake only. Oh, very, very strong. So 1st gear, just short shifting it through the mid-range. So yeah, it's got plenty enough power there for easy, relaxed cruising. There's your 60 miles an hour, look. And it's cruising along with no problems whatsoever. A few tiny little vibes coming through the foot pegs, but nothing to worry about at all. The overall feel of the bike, you know, the ride quality is very good. The front forks are very well damped. They're non-adjustable upside down units, but very well damped. And the rear unit is preload adjustable. And again, that's set up nicely for the factory, just for sort of my weight. It's very good foot on the bumps. It's not, doesn't crash over the bumps or anything like that. It just provides a nice, comfortable ride. All the switch gear is very impressive. It's all backlit, by the way. It's all very nice and tactile switches. All the indicators, horn, high beam, all that sort of stuff is very easy to find. So what's the wind like at this sort of speed? 60? It's actually quite good. The wind blast is not too excessive at all. It may be a naked bike upright, but no, I could hold this sort of 60 mile an hour all day long. But yeah, just to sort of sum up, guys, I mean, this is a well-priced bike. You've got the Zontes build quality, which is really good. It's nicely finished off with all the TFT and the detailing. But most of all, it rides really nicely. The engine's a little peach. The handling's engaging but comfortable as well. It's definitely all-day comfortable, which some of the competition aren't. So yeah, so far I'm really enjoying this. We'll just wrap it up here. Oh, what a great little bike. So much fun. You really can have a lot of fun on these small bikes. You know, you can rev them out through the gears and you don't end up going too crazy fast. They're really good fun to throw around the bends. This one's especially good fun. Right, we'll have a final walk round. Love those brakes. Alright, we'll just see what it goes like into neutral. Second and into neutral nice and easily. So I'll just give it a little rev for you so you can hear that lovely little single cylinder sound. No doubt at some point you better get aftermarket exhaust for that. I'll just show you the dash there again. Very nice little TFT. So I will put a night section in the video, but I'll just show you the indicators and the lights in the daytime. There you go. Brilliant. So we hold it there to turn it off, and it has an automatic steering lock. If you put the steering like that way, it locks it automatically. Right then guys, let's have a final walk around the Zontes ZT350. So looking around, as always with Zontes, it's very, very nice build quality. I mean, the plastics here are top notch, all beautifully fitted. All the metal work, all the castings, even the side stands, a nice looking thing. It looks like you can adjust the gear lever there, little holes there. That's a nice little touch. I say it runs tubeless tyres on spoked wheels with this detail here. That's a nice touch. Rear hugger, preload adjustable rear shock. Nice, it's got crash bungs as standard as well. That's nice. The coolant there is built in like it's meant to be, not an afterthought. So excellent front forks, great damping, really good quality ride on this. Super strong J1 brake. This is a nice little detail here as well. Look, this protective cover over the disc. Very, very good lights at night. I've tried it at night. Excellent high beam. That's interesting. The sort of the silver here is kind of like a brushed look. But yeah, very, very nice quality build everywhere. Little detailings here, look, you know, they've actually made an effort to make that look nice. And you know, the master cylinder up here, it looks good rather than just a little white can that most bikes have. We'll just have a little quick look to see what it's like to push around. So off the side stand, it's about moderate force needed to take it off the side stand, and to push it is very easy indeed, and it's got a pretty decent turning circle. So no problem at all, and it's very easy to push. Doesn't feel big or heavy at all, so that's good. Got a nice exhaust system. Got a banana style swing arm here, which is a nice touch as well. So yeah, all in all guys, ZT350 definitely gets my vote. If you're in the market for an A2 sort of naked scrambler style, definitely give one of these a look. It's well priced, it goes well, stops well, and it's very comfortable as well. That seat really is very comfy. I have taken the seat off. Unfortunately there's no storage under there at all, so you'd maybe get yourself a little tail pack or something. But anyway guys, please give me a like, share and subscribe. Post your comments down below please. I'd like to know what you think about the Zontes brand. You may have a Zontes G1 125, which is a very similar seating position to this. I've ridden all those, reviewed those, and they're very good. So alright guys, ride safe, and I'll catch you again in a week or two for another review. Bye for now.